1 year ago, Chinese AI models handled less than 2% of the world's AI traffic. Today, they handle almost half. This is one of the fastest market takeovers in the history of software, and almost nobody saw it coming. In the next 8 minutes, I'll show you exactly how it happened, who the new players are, what it means for the AI tools you use every day, and why Washington is genuinely rattled. Let's get into it. First, the numbers, because they are staggering. OpenRouter is a routing service that sits in front of hundreds of AI models. Millions of developers use it, which makes it one of the best public windows into which AI models the world is actually using. In mid-2025, Chinese AI providers accounted for less than 2% of OpenRouter's traffic. By April 2026, models from Xiaomi, Alibaba, DeepSeek, Zhipu, Minimax, and StepFun crossed 45% of total weekly volume. During February, some measures spiked past 60%. And here is the stat that really turns heads. Xiaomi, yes, the phone company, now processes over 4 trillion tokens a week on OpenRouter. That's 21% of the entire platform. OpenAI's share? 7.5%. Xiaomi's single coding model now moves nearly 3 times more traffic than OpenAI. Zoom out beyond one platform, and the picture holds. China as a whole now processes around 140 trillion tokens a day, up from roughly 100 billion at the start of 2024. That is more than a 1,000-fold increase in 2 years. So how did this happen? The answer is not that Chinese models suddenly became the smartest in the world. On most frontier benchmarks, the top American models still lead. The answer is price, and it's not even close. Take GLM-5.2, the flagship model from Zhipu AI. It costs about $1.40 per million input tokens and $4.40 for output. The comparable American model, GPT 5.5, costs $2.50 and $15. That's more than 3 times cheaper on both ends. DeepSeek goes even further. Its V4 Pro model costs 44 cents per million input tokens. That undercuts Western frontier models by an order of magnitude. If you're a startup burning through billions of tokens a month, that's not a rounding error. That's the difference between profitable and dead. And the timing was perfect. Through 2025, companies went all in on AI agents, systems that run for hours and consume tokens at industrial scale. By early 2026, enterprises were recoiling from the bills. Entire annual AI budgets were burning up in weeks. There's even a word for it now, token maxing. When your AI bill grows 10 times faster than your revenue, you stop asking which model is smartest, and you start asking which model is good enough at 1/10 the price. For a huge share of real workloads, coding, summarization, data extraction, the answer increasingly had a Chinese name. But price is only half the story. The other half is open weights. Most of these Chinese models are released under permissive licenses like MIT. Anyone can download them, run them on their own hardware, fine-tune them, and ship products with them. No API lock-in, no usage restrictions, no waiting list. Compare that with the American frontier labs, which keep their best models locked behind APIs. If you're a company in Europe, India, or Brazil worried about data sovereignty, an open model you can run in your own data center isn't just cheaper. It's the only option that satisfies your lawyers. Open weights also means momentum compounds. Every university lab, every hobbyist, every startup that builds on these models becomes part of their ecosystem. Developers improve them, benchmark them, and evangelize them for free. It's the Linux playbook applied to AI, and it's working. So who are the players you should actually know? Number 1, Xiaomi. Its MiMo V2 Pro is the single most used model on OpenRouter by token volume, and it's optimized for one thing, coding. Cheap, fast, and good enough that developers route millions of requests to it every hour. Number 2, Zhipu AI, also known as Z.ai, a Tsinghua University spin-off that listed in Hong Kong and is now worth around $56 billion. Its GLM-5.2 is a 744 billion parameter model that currently tops the Artificial Analysis Index among open-weight models. When GLM-5.2 launched in June, Versal reported the fastest adoption of any model on its platform this year. Token volume up 27x and customer count up 80x in the first full week. That's not gradual adoption. That's a stampede. Number 3, DeepSeek, the lab that shocked the world in early 2025 and then just kept shipping. Its V4 Pro remains the price-performance king. And behind them, Alibaba's Quinn family, Minimax, and Moonshot's Kimi, each with hundreds of billions of tokens flowing through them every week. Now, why does this matter beyond bragging rights? 3 reasons. First, economics. The price war is permanent. American labs have already been forced to respond with cheaper tiers and introductory pricing. If you buy AI, and soon everyone will, this competition is saving you money right now. Second, security. The Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance just issued a rare joint statement warning that frontier AI is shifting cyber risk faster than expected on a timeline of months, not years. When models this capable are freely downloadable worldwide, both defense and offense change. Third, geopolitics. Washington is visibly struggling to respond. Just this week, a planned executive order on AI was abruptly pulled at the last minute, over concerns it could weaken America's lead over China. Meanwhile, massive Chinese models reportedly trained entirely on domestic chips are being open-sourced under MIT licenses. The chips angle matters. Export controls were supposed to keep China years behind by starving it of advanced GPUs. Instead, Chinese labs optimized ruthlessly for efficiency, and domestic silicon caught up faster than expected. The bottleneck strategy hasn't stopped the flood, and there's a serious debate about whether it ever could. Now for some honesty, because this story gets overhyped in both directions. Chinese models winning on volume does not mean they've won on capability. The hardest reasoning tasks, the most reliable agents, the frontier of the frontier, American labs still lead there, and on some benchmarks, it's not particularly close. Volume also chases price, and price can change. OpenRouter measures a specific slice of the market, developers who shop around. Enterprise contracts, where the biggest money flows, still lean heavily toward American providers. And serving tokens at rock-bottom prices is a brutal, low-margin business. But here's my take. Markets are won at the bottom far more often than at the top. Good enough and dramatically cheaper is the most reliably winning combination in the history of technology. That's how Android beat feature phones, how Linux took the server market, how TSMC took chips. Ignore it at your peril. The real question for the next 12 months isn't whether Chinese models keep growing. It's whether American labs respond by competing on price and openness, or by lobbying for walls. One of those strategies has a track record. The other one built this situation in the first place. If you learned something, subscribe. I break down the biggest shifts in AI and tech in plain English, no hype. And drop a comment. Would you run a Chinese open weight model in production? Or is that a hard no for you? I read everything. See you in the next one.